Hey, it's Herbert. And you're listening to the About Last Night podcast, you slippery little son of a bitch.
About last night.
Wait, no, I think they were about to connect. Talk again.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right.
Wow, dude. Look
Well,
at
what
that.
the fuck?
Couple
happened?
of tech-savvy fellas.
All right, I'm gonna record on my Zoom.
Cool.
You need a clap or anything?
No?
All right. All right.
But I'll
All right,
probably
all right.
keep that in there. Look at you all pro with this set lingo.
Fuck, man, I gotta. I'm doing this 3 times a week.
You are, huh? Why three times a week? Just that's what the big boys do?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make that money, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got that fucking
know-
that fan base that just wants all the NV content they can get.
Yeah, I mean, I started with the first show, which is kind of interview style and just
Right.
shooting shit, and then we used to do I basically jammed 3 shows into one, and I was having 2-hour episodes.
Yeah.
And so so we separated the Q&A, and then I don't really love doing the Bachelor content, but
Oh, really?
it's easy and people love it, so who am I to say no?
What have you I mean, thank God for podcasts, right? I don't even know what would be
Yeah.
your routine if you weren't
I'd
doing
like
those
to
podcasts?
yeah, I'm lucky that way, right? I'm still busy.
Yeah, dude. Otherwise,
So,
what would you do? Try to find a way to put more shit on that wall?
yeah.
How
Well,
many more
honestly,
fucking
these are
mirrors
just-
can you get? Jesus Christ.
Well, those are 2 mirrors. The rest, no, my place is outfitted like a podcast studio. Those are just sound, everything's.
Oh
not
no, I
extra.
get the soundproof stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Listen, if I can't look at myself, what's the point?
Is the plant real or is that fake?
They're real. Yeah.
Nice, dude. I don't
Yeah,
judge
get it.
fake plants, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Any sort of shrubbery to kind of add to the decor of the environment.
Yeah, I mean, I plants usually die on me. I try to get the
Damn, dude. I'm trying to keep this podcast on fucking with an upbeat, positive spin. Let's talk about why
my plants are a reflection. My plants are a reflection of my relationships. I don't water them enough, and eventually,
oh my God.
after 6 or 7 months, I give them just enough to slowly die.
That could be a T-shirt, front and back.
Yeah,
You're single right now, yeah?
I am. Yeah,
What's a single guy doing in the quarantine? How do you keep things active?
thriving.
Yeah.
I can only irritate myself, which I'm doing. But yeah, listen, I think best case scenario, you just met someone right before the quarantine, and maybe you got stuck with them. Great, and if not, you can at least have some FaceTime sex. At least you're looking forward to something.
FaceTime.
But I'd say being single is not the worst alternative.
Yeah.
Certainly better than hating your girlfriend or boyfriend.
Dude, no shit. What is FaceTime has got to be just. I wonder if they have any idea what that app was designed for and what it's now being used for. You know what I'm saying?
Zoom. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you think there's a lot of Zoom fucking going on?
Yeah, people are getting antsy. I think
They're getting creative too.
who knows, and
Zoom needs to start leaning
judge?
into it. Well, we are nobody to Zoom should start leaning into it and catering to that and be like, look, we do conferences, but we all know what these conferences lead to, and we all know what 4 or 5 squares was meant to be used for. So find out who your center square is, take it out, let the rest of the people figure out their role, and let the zoomorgy.com website kind of take on.
How people are you date someone, you're in your 3rd or 4th date, and you start fact checking their sexual exploits. It's have you ever what's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Right.
And now post quarantine, it's gonna be well, have you ever had a Zoom orgy? A Zoom threesome? Like,
and the other person's gonna be like, I have actually. That's actually
yeah.
sorry, I was late getting on this call. That's what was holding me up. Are you finding that there's you're getting more stuff done during this time and actually doing
Totally.
like?
Well, I was at first. I was
Of
I was
course,
thriving, right? Your podcast, like, we live in LA, so like so much of LA and living here is the commute, you know. So you're not driving and you adjust, and quite honestly, for me, most of what I'm doing, I could have been always doing from home,
right.
like, but I just choose not to. So yeah, I'm way more efficient, getting way more done. Still watching TV, and it was great. Now it's like, no, just like there's a mental like health. Like now I'm just like,
Oh yeah, dude, that's
sink the
real.
dishes are piling up. It's just like, ah, fuck it, I don't need to fold my laundry. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
no
yeah.
one's coming over. Like you get a little too lethargic. I've hit that wall this week. But for the first month, I was guns a blazing. It was like
Good for you, dude.
new ideas were popping in my head.
Oh
Making
yeah.
quarantine videos.
Anything crazy that you're gonna see through, like that you were like, oh, dude, I would not have had that business idea had I not been, pocketed up like
I don't
this.
know if it's a business idea, but I've made some kind of these like quarantine videos where it's just like 4 different versions of me on my Instagram. It's like
Yeah.
it's called a little mini series, and people seem to like it. I don't know if it has legs or anything, but it's still like it's been kind of creative and something different. I don't know if it's really going to turn into anything, but
Well,
it's
not with that fucking attitude. Yeah, for sure.
it's still something. I'm still putting things out there. So you know.
What are you watching? What's everyone wants to know? That's the biggest question I got. What is Nick? Wow.
I am sure. I burned through Ozark season 3 real fast.
Through what?
Ozarks season 3.
Yeah, dude, that's an easy watch. That's anything Bateman's in, I feel like is
Yeah.
going to be easy to digest. What about any sort
Riz,
of like? Oh, go ahead.
you froze there.
Am I good?
Yeah, there you go. Let's finish that one last thought.
What?
Anything Bateman.
Yeah. What? I was saying anything Bateman is a home run during the quarantine. There's certain people I've found that I've like gone through a search, like just did a search of Paul Rudd movies last night. It's
Okay.
like, dude, that could keep you busy for the rest of the pandemic. Like
Yeah.
there's so
Did
many
you like?
small. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, like I mean, I watched this when it came out, but Living with Yourself is good. His most recent Netflix series.
Very good, dude. I auditioned to be his buddy, so it's one of those things where I go, I can't watch it for a beat because I'm just like, fuck, what a great part. But it's did your folks ever do that to you when you were starting to get into the business like this? Like my mom still does this where she's like, I can't watch certain shows because I just think that could be you up there. She's like, Joey and Friends, you could have been that part. I'm like, well, that show came out in 1994. I was 12, so that would have been impossible. And she's like, no, it would have been more incredible.
Not as much for me. I mean, it sounds like you maybe like had more of a path earlier in life in terms of the comedy and acting bit, where like for me, I'm this reality reject guy. It's just like, oh, I'll fucking try acting. Like I've been honestly working hard at for the past,
Yeah, you've been in classes
years.
and stuff.
Yeah, and then I've got some roles and I've done some cool things, and I've it's all house money. So for me, my parents are just like, yeah, this is great, whatever. Like,
What did
I
they
don't know
think
if
you were gonna do?
in life.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a life. I was selling software. I mean, I was, like that was I was in sales for like 10 years. So it was like, I think most people just, my family included, including myself. It's like, I guess this is what I'm gonna be doing.
You have like 5 or 6 siblings, right?
I got 10.
God damn. And your folks are just still madly in love after all of them, huh?
Yeah, I think they like each other enough. We're doing pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah, they seem to. But also, that's kind of the point too. It's just like my parents didn't have the ability to be helicopter parents.
Right.
They have
Meaning
too many
stage
things
mom or stage dad, like running you.
Yeah,
from
just like
sesh to
up my
sesh?
ass, kind of like always like calling me every day, wondering what I'm doing, and being my biggest fans. Like, yeah, my parents like me enough.
Hey guys, Adam Ray here for the About Last Night podcast. Hope you're enjoying the episode. Man, it's good to be back. And you know what? The best part about being back is sharing the goodies with you, the fans. I love candles, okay? You know from listening to this podcast, we've always had candles living around the apartment and now my new place. And I'm tired of buying the bullshit candles from the store. I want some personal touch. I want something handmade. So that's why I found Hangover Candle Company. That's right. Homemade by a bartender in Fort Collins, Colorado. He's a big comedy fan, podcast fan, reached out, said, I love the pod, would love to send you some candles. I'm like, I'm not comfy giving you my address. He's like, come on, trust me. I was like, all right, let's roll the dice. Boom. Now I've got fucking 40 different flavors of Hangover Candle Company candles in my place. They're cut, sanded, poured, packed, and shipped, all by him. And you can choose from over 200 different containers, okay, to build your candle in, and over 40 different scents to create your own smell. You can customize your own scent. Shit, man, they've got flavors like fucking root beer, apple pie, cinnamon stick, coffee, fresh cut grass, hazelnut, lavender, leather, maple syrup, peach, pine, sandalwood, spearmint, sea breeze, vanilla bean, watermelon. Go to Hangover Candle Co. On Etsy, okay? Go to Etsy, type in Hangover Candle Co. It'll pop up the shop, and then pick your candles, and then use the promo code ALN25 at checkout to get 25% off your first order. 25%! Hangover Candle Co. is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But again, go to Etsy, type in Hangover Candle Co., find the candles and the smells you want, create your own, and then use ALN25 at checkout to get 25% off your first order. I love candles. They're great for any occasions, bar mitzvahs, circumcisions, fucking weddings, funerals, gender reveal parties, divorce parties, coming out parties, coming in parties, coming parties. These candles are the shit, and they're my fave, and I want you guys to have them. So type in Etsy.com and then type in Hangover Candle Co. and pick your candles and use ALN25 at checkout for 25% off. All right? Start smelling better, start looking better, start feeling better, okay? Because everybody farts, and candles are a great way to get rid of that. And now back to the episode. Now, do you think are you at an advantage to have that many siblings once you get into something like this, as far as like a support system? Like, do you think, had you chose acting, do you think having 9 brothers and sisters to like, because, you know, for me, going through stuff, the highs and lows, it was a lot of phone calls to mom or other people that I started to befriend in the business. But do you think having, like, would they all be supportive? Are they supportive of you now trying to jump into acting? Are they like, fuck yeah, go for it? Yeah. Or some of them like, dude, you can't do shit. You look like a guy who would fuck the guy's girlfriend and then bounce 2 scenes later.
These, to be honest, I don't care what they think is nice. Kind of the honest answer. But I generally assume that I have my family support. But in all seriousness, like, my parents have always been, just in general in my life, very supportive and
right.
And they've been they've been great allies to me. But they've kind of allowed me to just kind of do whatever, without. My parents are really, they're very good at just not making me feel judged. I never had the parents be like, really? That's what you're going to do, huh? Like,
man, and that's huge, by the way, because even just like planting the seeds of doubt in you is almost more, dangerous than straight up being like, nah, don't do that. Like kind of just making you look inside yourself and question all the momentum that you had built up, Yeah.
Listen, if I'm lucky enough to ever have a son and he's just like, Dad, I want to.
Well, let's be honest. There could be one out there right now. Let's just go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, at this point in my life, I'm kind of hoping, but, the dirty, but if he's like, hey, listen, I want to make the Olympics in the 100-meter dash. I'm not going to tell him he can't do it. I'm just going to be like, well, I don't know, man. You got to bust your ass, and like, listen.
I like how you're going to say, I don't know, man, and not even call your kid his name.
Yeah. Like, bro, I don't know. Yeah. Like, you're going to have to work really hard. I'm not going to say, but I'm a big believer in that. Like, there's no point in telling people what they can't do. There's a difference between telling people what they can't do and then setting reasonable expectations and what they have to do to kind of prove people wrong. But, shooting people down when they're too young, that happens a lot. I think it also happens a lot, like, especially like, I grew up in the Midwest, and it's just like, I don't know if that's realistic. It's like, I don't know, maybe, probably not. But I'll tell you what, I will say, like, I've tried a lot of things in life that I failed doing. It's nice to know that I tried,
Do you think that having a kid, I just want to hit on that for a minute, because I love you bringing up, you said I would take one right now at this point in my life. I mean, this sounds like a great movie that you could star in and maybe write, but where a guy goes through all this, maybe he had a one night stand right before all this hit, and then the air clears, and he's excited to get back to the normalcies of, pre-pandemic life, and regain his bachelor momentum and just everything that he was doing up until that point. And she's like, hey, I didn't want to tell you. I thought I'd wait till the quarantine was over, which was exactly about 10 months. And here's your kid.
That would be wild. It could be a good story. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I joke, but I want a kid. I'm ready to be a dad. So
do you have names picked out?
Nah.
Okay, so you're not that far along.
Do you want to be a dad?
I think so. I'm crushing the uncle game right now, but that's a piece of the pie. That's coming in for once every 2 to 3 weeks, laying down some parental advice, annoying my brother-in-law and sister by being like, this is actually what you should be doing. And I know, because I've been here 12 minutes, but you see enough. You see enough it's almost like when people go to weddings before they're ready to get into that world. It's like you see what you would do. That's why I think being an aunt, if you have a chance to be an aunt or an uncle, to be around it as much as possible is beneficial. So you can kind of start to pick up on like, oh, cool, like that parenting style sucks, or I wouldn't do that, or I'd probably do that, or I'd yell that way, or I definitely wouldn't spit in my kid's face like my friend's dad just did, but I probably might, throw the book at him.
Your friend's dad spit in his face?
Yeah, but not like didn't get any on him. Just did like a.
I have a friend, and actually they told me this last night. We were shooting the shit.
Yeah,
and their dad, one point. It was like a couple of years. They were adults. It wasn't like there's never an excuse. But their dad once said, "Hey, don't park your car in the driveway when you come here. Park it somewhere else." Right? Fine. Only for them to like park there once, maybe because they forgot. I don't know. And then their dad slashed all 4 of their tires.
Yes.
And like when they came in, I shit you not, they told me that, and they came in and were like, "Hey, someone slashed your tires," but they had like a knife in their hand and like didn't even like own it. He just like what kind of bizarre parenting behavior is that?
Holy shit.
That's some dark shit.
Yeah,
didn't even like just slash their fucking tires.
That's worse than getting grounded for a couple weeks. Were you ever grounded for shit?
Oh, all the time. I used to have to stand in the corner. Do you ever have that? You ever heard of that?
Like you were pledging a fraternity? What, like shave your legs?
Just like you had to put your nose in the corner and stand there for like a half hour.
I mean, I peed in the corner of my room when I was 5. No, it was a couple weeks ago. But my mom, so she stopped putting me in the corner because she just assumed I was going to just whoop it out and start peeing on the wall. But I did do that before that. That's an intense punishment, because you literally got nowhere to go, and you can almost get claustrophobic, and it's just, what would you think about?
No, it sucked. It sucked because like, go to your room, fine. I'll hang out in my room.
Yeah, dude, that was the best
I
punishment.
Toys. But the corner sucked. Yeah, I got spanked. We got spanked for a while too, and then my parents figured out it didn't hurt us. They would spank us just to like.
Would you kind of take the spanks and go, oh,
yeah, like, ow.
Is that all you got?
No,
bring it, Dad.
Oh,
he's like, what?
No, I was smarter than that. You like, no, you pretend cry. You're like, oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
Oh no, you know.
Pretend cry, dude. That is one thing that binds kids together, and is why kid actors, I think, are so good. If they don't like get all Hollywooded up, like my nieces will fucking, dude. If something, like they've got the genuine tears, obviously, but they know how to manipulate. So it's like to turn it on and turn it off. If they want an extra Chick-fil-A sandwich, it's like, dude, you are speaking my language.
I'm just kidding. There's nobody there. Hey guys, comedian Adam right here. Hope you're enjoying this episode of the About Last Night podcast. Boy, I gotta tell you, I've been feeling good lately. And the reason why? Koi CBD. That's right. Back in the game. Feeling like my best self. Look, Koi CBD is the best CBD company in the business. I don't care what you hear from other people, other comics, Koi CBD. See, I got so much CBD inside me, I ain't even fucking talking right. You know why? Because I slept well on the Koi CBD gummies. That's right. They've got everything from tinctures to bath bombs to gummies. They got a skincare line coming soon. They got hand sanitizer. During these times, it's very important. So, what you want to do, if you want to start feeling like your best self, you want to take some Koi CBD bombs, put them in the bath, okay? What? Yeah, come on in. Jackson, I'm doing an ad for my podcast. Can you say hi?
Hello.
Say, I use CBD gummies.
I eat CBD gummies.
From Koi.
From Koi.
Koi's the best.
Koi's the best.
It makes me feel good.
It makes me feel good.
I feel like my best self.
I feel my best self.
Look at these muscles.
Look at these muscles.
Kiss them. If you get Koi CBD right now, you go to koicbd.com, promo code AboutLastNight, and you get 20% off your first order. That's incredible. Bath bombs, tinctures, skincare, hand sanitizer, gummies. They've got everything. They're my favorite. It's who I use. So start using it for you too. I can't recommend these guys enough. They're homies and all their shit works. Jackson, say 20% off.
20% off.
If you use the promo code AboutLastNight.
If you use the print code after night.
About last night.
About last night.
Show them those guns again. Kiss them. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
What do you still keep in touch with your siblings? Are you close with all of them?
Yeah. Generally, we have a pretty close family. I mean, I'm probably the hardest to keep in touch with because I kind of operate like an only child, even though I have 10 siblings. I've always been a very kind of independent person.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, generally our family's pretty tight.
There's no like big 10-way text chain with all the kiddos.
Oh no, there's a fucking family group text. I fucking hate it. And like, listen, in my defense, I'm out here in LA, and 95% of their text messages are related to like the life that they have going on in Wisconsin. Like, who's coming over, so and so, and it's just like I have them on mute. So like, I basically always have 30 unread text messages that I just delete. But like I don't have the heart. Obviously, it's my family. I don't have the heart to like remove myself from the chain.
Yeah.
So
are people kind of adhering to things in Wisconsin right now? Or are they kind of like attached to the like, fuck it, like we can't get our haircuts or get our tattoos or get our fucking Cold Stone Creamery, we're going into the streets?
I haven't checked in. I feel like Wisconsin's been one of the better Midwest states in terms of taking this seriously. But I think people are there's definitely, I think, been some protests, and people are getting antsy, and I mean, listen, it's a tough situation because we've never had this before. We haven't had something like this in 100 years, so no one's really quite lived through it. And it's one of those like silent killers, and it's out of mind, out of sight until it happens to you. Meanwhile, what's very like transparent and what's very in your face is like being laid off or not being able to pay your rent or that's it. So I get the confusion and the fears, but it's tough. Not everyone can sit at home and podcast and make money.
Dude, I know. Although some people are starting podcasts because of that. Like my buddy's dad is starting. I don't think he's looking to make a ton of money from it, but he's going to do a movie review podcast because he's like, all I do is watch movies. I love to talk to my friends about them. I might as well. He's like, I got a friend with a microphone. I got a computer. What else do I need? I got my brain. I got the movies. Yeah. I got my mouth works. He's like, yeah, dude, you're checking all the boxes.
Watch out, Bill Simmons.
Yeah. Who are you listening to pod-wise? Because now, I mean, dude, let's be honest. You jumped in, smartly with, a built-in fan base, but then took it and ran with it and have, spread your wings with a couple more shows.
Yeah, it's been good. I'm a big fan of Conan's. Conan's got a good
so
podcast.
Good, dude. Can I be honest? He's my guy. Like, it's like, how some people have, they grew up with Letterman or, Carson, whatever, but it's like Conan was the first for me. I think we're about the same age, like where I was watching the late night show and it was just like, oh, this is genius. Like, so silly, but he was so good. He still had great guests on him. And it wasn't the big primetime one, so it almost felt like it was more, obviously, for my demo.
I agree. I've always been a Conan guy. I mean, I liked Letterman. I was definitely, if I had to choose between Letterman over Leno, I was definitely Letterman. But Conan, he definitely had a unique style to him. And as far as the podcast space, I really I listen to his and try to take notes. I
was going to ask, what do you pick from when you listen to guys? Because you can't help but, if you're in the space too and you're listening to people you're a fan of, you can't help but dissect and go, oh shit, like he's, because there's a lot of the interview stuff that I think you just gotta you can practice as much as you want, but it's just about listening.
Yeah, it's
and
interesting because,
responding.
like, Dak Shepard has obviously one of the best or more successful podcasts out there, and his is great. I like his, and quite honestly, I probably would guess, my style is probably more in line with his because
Right.
he's really introspective and he likes to dive deep, and he's an overthinker. At least it seems that way. I've never met him personally, but
Right.
he's dyslexic. I'm dyslexic. Kind of those things. But that's the thing where it's just like it feels too similar to my style, so
Right.
I don't appreciate as much. Like Conan, I don't know if I could ever replicate what Conan's doing. There's like a subtle brilliance to it, and I think I just really kind of enjoy that.
Is there someone? Do you have a dream guest? Do you have the Viall files, right?
Yeah, it's all under the Viall Files flagship, and so my dream guest, which I think is I would love to get Malcolm Gladwell on.
Wow.
And then like play to my audience, I'd love to get Chrissy Teigen maybe.
She a big
I think
Bachelor
she's
fan?
fun. She's a reality TV fan for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I've met her. She's very nice. I met her once, but yeah, that'd be fun.
Do you ever just throw Hail Marys and just hit people up? Just, send them a DM.
Yeah,
and
fuck
say,
yeah, totally.
Yeah?
I once in a while get a little brave and do it. And it's kind of like there's I can just only not respond. I mean, it helped. Like, I mean, I went balls to the walls when my podcast was one of Associated Press's top 10. So like it was on a top 10 list with like Dax and Conan. So
Damn. When was that?
So I just hit at the 2019.
Good
So
shit,
like
dude.
it's at the end of the year. So I just was like hitting up everyone, be like, hey,
Hey, I
Associated
don't know if you
Press.
heard.
Have you
Yeah.
heard?
Yeah.
Which helps. But yeah, it's been cool. We've gotten some really interesting people, and obviously like you get some Bachelor cast members, and that's obviously low hanging fruit and easy, and my audience loves that. And it's fun, and a lot of them are friends, and it's fun to talk to them, and it's always fun to kind of talk to people outside of that world to meet interesting people. And I think you got to almost train your audience to, if you want to grow it and build it in a different direction, you just have to slowly train them to expect different things.
Totally. I sent Katy Perry maybe, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. I was in New York and doing shows, maybe seeing a buddy's play, and saw her post that she was going to a friend's play in the city that night, and it was like now like looking for something fun to do. And I had shows, that night. So I was just like, and had a couple cocktails and was just like, you know what? Why? What the worst that's going to happen is she doesn't respond. Best case scenario, she shows up, tweets out to her fan base that she's got a new favorite comic. Next thing you know, we're not doing this over Zoom, but our backdrop is, a yacht for me. And I'm so rich that I bought a yacht for my guest to be on. That didn't happen. Needless to say, I was surprised though at how butthurt I did get at the lack of response. I was like, I know. My buddy's like, dude, she saw it. And I was like, oh, fucking, she couldn't even just say no thanks. Like then you're getting petty about it.
She definitely saw it.
Yeah, right.
I was on my friend Hannah Brenner's podcast, and I told the story about how I slid into Olivia Munn's DM on New Year's Day.
On New Year's Day.
It was like I felt like I had a good line, and I just wrote her aiming high this year. And just thought I would.
Yeah.
No, nothing. I mean, I was also like, I was not in any way expecting her to reply, and I wasn't butthurt that she didn't. But we had this whole debate whether I thought she saw it or not. And listen, anyone who has a following, when they like say that they don't check their DMs because they're so busy, is a liar.
Oh, dude. But by the way, we're all on our phones all the time now.
Yeah.
And they're all there. Like I had a buddy once tell me, I text him on like a Friday, and he texts me back on Monday and goes, dude, sorry, just got this. I was in Portland this weekend. And I was like, like,
yeah, you definitely didn't just get it. The truth is he saw it when you sent it, and then honestly forgot about it.
Oh,
no
big deal. And I'll take that. But the idea of like, I was like, oh, this guy's still living in like the early 90s with his excuses where he's like, oh, this will fly. It's like, nah, dude, like being in a different state doesn't get you out of it.
Haven't listened to my answering service in a few days.
Yeah.
Why, okay, buddy.
Yeah. Is the boy, remember that? I just had to educate my nieces on the fact of like what an answering machine was. Minds were blown. It's the fact that they don't even know life without YouTube is so unfair. You know what I'm saying? Like, or
Oh,
Google.
totally.
That
I
everything
got
is
broken up with in the 6th grade when my
from an answering
girlfriend-
machine.
Yeah, my whole family heard before me.
Oh man, that
Nick,
is a
this
great
is-
story. Keep going.
Nick, this is Kelly. You're dumped. It was right after we got back from the budget theaters after seeing Mighty Ducks, and I was feeling really good. I was quacking, and
Probably with your whole family. That's enough to field a hockey
whole
team.
family. And the message was, Nick, this is Kelly. You're dumped.
In
And
what?
we were in the 6th grade. We were in the 6th grade. I mean, I didn't even hold this chick's hand, but I was truly and epically in love with her.
Dude, I mean, look, part of me appreciates the way that she has ripped the Band-Aid off and said, hey, Nick, you're dumped. She is in the 6th grade. She probably didn't think it through and come up with an entire, like, one sheet on how to do it, let you go lightly. I wonder if her parents coached her. I bet her dad was just like, just fucking toss him to the curb.
Well, I was good friends with her twin brother. And then she started dating my other friend, 6th grade. But
Dude, something about 6th grade girls that love to dump and then date the best buddy. That happened to me too.
Yeah, it's truly savage. I mean, in this day and
So
age,
savage.
she might have been crucified for it, but it seemed fine at the time.
Because what if it was like a 10-minute voice, like message, like your family? Do you think they would have all made you stand there and listen to it with you? If it was like, hey, Nick, so look, I've been doing some thinking. First of all, I liked your hat today at school, but it made me think like, boy, he always wears hats. And do I want to be with someone who always wears hats?
Yeah.
And if she just
I
rattled
feel
it
like
off,
you just don't make me a better person.
you don't make me a better person. And I'm in the 6th grade. I'm going to be in 7th grade next year, Nick. And that's like,
what are even your goals? Like, you don't have goals.
What are your goals? Yeah. Do you even want to be like in the 7th grade? Like sometimes I feel like you don't even like math. Like I see the way you look at our teacher. Sometimes I'm like, is he interested in our teacher? Well, so do you get a lot of things like that on the advice show?
What do you mean?
Ask Nick, like people coming to you with like, dude, like how do I break up, or how do I I just got dumped. What's the move?
I mean, at this point, I guess we've gotten questions across the board, right?
So nothing shocks you or surprises you.
No, I mean, we've had some pretty interesting ones.
Like,
now you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was? I mean, fuck, man, I'm having a brain fart.
What's your language?
The one more recent one was pretty interesting, and some girl was dating a guy, and they were, I think, engaged, but they never had sex. And he just was like, the 40-year-old version. Like he had never.
Wow.
He wasn't like he wasn't religious, but he just like they didn't sleep together. They messed around, and then they broke up, and then they reconnected like as friends, and he was still a virgin. And he was basically like, listen, I just want to lose my virginity. And can you like teach me how to have sex? And so like, it wasn't like, he wasn't saying I want to get back together. It's just like, it's just like, I'm like fucked up in the head. Like, not like, he's just like, I just want to get this out of the way. Right.
He was the Karate Kid, and he went to the fucking dojo and was like, look guys, I ain't looking to take classes. I just want to learn how to judo chop.
Yeah, I just like, I'm tired of not being able to judo chop, and I just want to judo chop. So next time I, go to a karate class, I can also say I've judo. Like he just wanted to do it, and it was pretty fascinating. I said, go for it.
Wow,
like there, you break it down. It's just like you make sure he's being honest, make sure you have an out, like make sure this, but like if he actually is being honest with his intentions, and you're fine with it, and you want to do it. Fucking go for it, why not?
Wow. Do you ever feel, and it's you and who else? It's just you.
It's just me. I have my producer on. I'll have guests,
Right.
I'll have people like yourself come in and, unqualified, like honestly, it's just like people, I'm not qualified. I'm just a guy with an opinion. People seem to like my answers. But,
totally. But coming with life experience,
Yeah, we're just offering our insight. We full disclaimer, no one's a doctor on our show. We've had some more professional people, but at the same time, like calling at your own risk. But we're just here to offer a point of view.
Do you pay attention to much of the news, like when you during your day? Like I'm always concerned at how much people are balancing like the the influx of information that's at your
Yeah.
disposal and balancing that with
I really don't.
see, and I
mean,
can
I
tell just by
consider
your
that.
yawn, just talking about
Yeah.
a pandemic, you're like, dude, can we get back to me getting dumped in the 6th grade?
No, I mean, I've stayed pretty in touch with the, pandemic stuff. I feel like in the news in general, like it's all redundant, right? Cable news and things like that. It's like anything else. Everything's there's just an abundance of options for everything nowadays. So, you know, people are arguing it's another reality TV show. Like when you ask me if I watch and follow the news, yeah, I mean, I try to keep tabs on it, but
Yeah.
if I think you could probably check in once or twice a week and probably get the most of the information that you need, and do your research. But
Do you have the
um,
virus?
I honestly thought I did.
Yeah.
I was sick for a while, and I had some symptoms that suggested maybe I did. Like it was like stuff in the chest, and I was in Brooklyn in New York right before it all hit.
Damn.
But actually, this past week I went. I took the antibody test, and I never had it. So,
Fuck yeah.
which it was like good and bad news, though, right?
I know, dude.
Because on one time I thought I was sick, and at the time I was like, okay, I got these symptoms. Maybe I have it. I'm obviously going to stay inside and quarantine myself, but it wasn't that bad. Like, I didn't have a
Right.
fever. I wasn't knocked out. And then, I got better, and I thought, hey, whoa, I might have had it. And like,
Yeah.
I'm still here,
Yeah.
that's great. And then I thought I was going to find out like I had it. And now I'm like, maybe I have some immunity to it. Now it's like, nah. So now I'm like, well, I was sick with something. It was in my chest.
Fuck.
So I could still get it. And does that mean I'm more at risk? So it's a little nerve wracking,
It's almost like an exclusive club that you're like, fuck, like I didn't get the virus. Like you kind of, when you hear about people getting it and getting over it, you're like, fuck, I want it. Like, what'd you do? How'd you get the coronavirus's attention?
Yeah, I almost, it was a weird thing to think like, oh yeah, you're negative for the antibodies. And I was weirded out that I felt disappointment only because I felt like there was a sense of safety behind it. But
Yeah.
listen, it's a tricky thing right now. And that's the thing with following the news, it's like there's still a lot of people are just guessing, I mean, even is that is it Fauci?
Fauci, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he's like the guy to listen to, right? And he's honest about saying, here's what we know, here's what we don't know.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we don't
dude.
know a lot, and that's great information to just admit, what they still have to do research on and what they still have to learn. And,
Right.
and then you have a billion other people, telling you what they've heard or what they think they know. And,
Also, there's a bunch of, and by the way, we're talking about like you're talking about medical professionals. There's people, if you were just to go on Facebook and spend 15 minutes, you'll get 16 different house mom or
moms,
buddies you went to high school with that are now cops or work, at Costco. And they're like, dude, I got a buddy whose buddy works at the Pentagon or used to work at he knows what the Pentagon is. And he heard that dude, they're not going to even have dude, they're shutting down Cheesecake Factories until 2025. And you're like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
like
real
one
or
day, one day they're like, yeah, face masks don't really help you. The next day it's like, I guess you should wear a face mask. It's like, which one? I don't.
Then it's like, but wear these face masks. And you're like,
yeah, they
oh,
wear these
shit.
face
Who
masks.
you in cahoots with?
But if you don't have all that face mask, wear a bandana, just make the person feel next to you feel better.
Yeah, but not a red one because that's a gang sign.
Yeah, so listen, I think we just have to try to listen to the experts as much as we can and try not to scare ourselves and don't, people like to see it. Fear is a powerful thing. And sometimes, we do that where we just we want people, and I kind of think it comes from a good place generally, but people get a little nuts with the news. It's everywhere. It's
It
everywhere.
is. Speaking of news and speaking of being everywhere, you're on page 6. That's pretty fucking cool.
When was that on page 6?
Oh, it says 1 day ago. Do you ever Google yourself?
No. Oh, was that me? I was,
Bachelor alum
here.
Nick Viall calls out Madison Pruitt, page 6.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh boy. Does that stuff? Because I mean, and I appreciate that you're like, I don't give two shits, but do you have people in your life that are the same way for the good and the bad, right? We all got people that like something like, Nick, I fucking love that episode of the podcast. But in the same token, like, whoa, did you see this, dude? Look at you.
Yeah, listen, it's one of those things too, right? Like listen, I was on The Bachelor. It was a good time overall. A lot of things what I'm doing it was based off of that, either directly or indirectly. And part of the show, obviously, there's, the Bachelor franchise, the Bachelor show is very popular with social media. People have lives out of out of the show. The show now has almost like this kind of organic organism that, because of social media followings, the story goes on, if you will, and people do shit, and it opens themselves up for criticism. And now you have podcasts. Just it's like all it is. It's sports talk radio, man.
Oh yeah.
Like, the Bachelor franchise is basically a sporting entity, and if you have a podcast or an after show that in any way talks about it, people are going to give their opinions. And just like sports fans who are very protective of their teams and their quarterbacks and their players, you're going to have fans very protective of their characters. And I gave an opinion, and I'm good at giving an opinion, and some people get mad about it, but it makes news. Also, it's news is super slow. I mean, like, that's part of the reason why I even got coverage, just because I said some girl, like, I think she's a liar, big deal. She happens to be someone who, like, is pretty loud about her religious beliefs, right, and proud about it, which I think is great. And then you get a bunch of people who are like, well, you must hate Christians. I'm like, I've been like a Christian my whole life. I've literally gone to church every Sunday for most of my life. But it's all right. You gotta have to remind yourself too that it's kind of part of the gig, but yeah, it's hard not to respond to people's critics. You're gonna have people complain, just like I'm a big sports fan, I follow a lot of sports commentators who have opinions that I often disagree with, but I'm a fan and I enjoy listening to it. And the truth is, I enjoy disagreeing with them.
Welcome to King's Guaro Hotel. May I have your last name, please?
Good morning, ma'am. Can I help you?
Oh my, what happened?
Bellmen are clumsy and stupid.
Stella Bellman. You've had this job since high school, right?
Well, actually, now I am the bell captain.
Oh.
All right, kid. You ready for check-ins?
I was born.
I think he was gonna say I was born ready.
Steve, the captain. Captain Steve.
The closest thing we have to a god on Earth, Gunther Gashamane!
It's worse than I thought. He's a complete slimeball, right?
Oh, yeah, no question.
Do you feel my foot on your foot?
That's not me.
There's something under the table that feels like a foot.
What are you doing right now?
I'm working.
I got a promotion. I just lied to Kelly.
Why would you do that?
I don't know, man. I just want another shot. Sid Whitman worked his way up the ladder and bought the hotel.
Mr. Boss!
Do me a favor. Take it easy on the bellman, would you?
I'd rather have crack guard melt my balls.
Take care, boys.
I mean, it's a huge scam. And those girls were in on it, too.
Don't you want to know what our bodies are capable of?
Girl, yes, definitely.
I just work here during the day, but my nights is off.
Let's do this! Gunther is conning everyone with Spirit Fresh.
You broke into a guest room.
This is unacceptable.
He has been impersonating a manager, and that is a felony.
I don't think that's a felony.
He should be fired.
Get set.
Bunch of really real G's, burning trees till we low, sitting by 45 like I'm Jordan on the floor. Here we go, guess the brain is what they say my name for.
I mean, I'm not sure he's ready for...
Shut up, bitch.
With our minds, we begin to urinate, and then, for real, into our pants.
I'm unforgettable.
We live in this kind of time where people they don't care if you're right. They just care if it all comes down to you like them or not.
Totally.
And
do you have a hot take? Like Peter's mom, is that, how normal now is that becoming where the folks are like, I feel like that got a whole lot of press.
Barb was pretty unique. I don't know if anyone's ever pulled a Barb before. I don't know if everyone will again.
And now that phrase has been coined, right?
Yeah, that was wild. And she seems like just a mom who really loves her son. It was a unique situation, and I think the mom's intuition. I don't think she was wrong. It's just her delivery was strong. It's great TV, you know,
Yeah.
like it was pretty wild. But you know, that's I do think again, just the way media in general has gone. Like everything's on TV, you know, Madison's parents are both verified on Instagram. Like what the fuck? Like why? Why? You know, but like you see the Bachelor and the Kardashians, and like there's just like, you know, anyone can be famous if you like, you know, date. And I think there's like this my guess is, and you know, there's for some people it's intoxicating and it's hard not to, you know, want to taste the teat kind of thing, where it's just like, what are we interested? Could our whole family have a TV series? Like, could we be the, you know, like, and I think it's human nature, right? To wonder if you're interesting enough for other people want to watch. And then you'll convince yourself that, you know, if you get that opportunity, you'll always send the right message, you know. You're like, we'll be good role models. And it's listen, you either can be interesting or you can be good role models. You can.
Dude, yeah, sorry, but guess what? If you're not a train wreck, like the world's not really interested. That's like, how responsible do you feel The Bachelor is for shows like I just saw this preview for Too Hot to Handle on Netflix, where it's
I
like
started watching that, but it seems to be, I think
it's
a lot of
basically
people are
fuck
streaming.
island, but they're like, but you can't fuck. So it's get to know you on an island.
It wasn't, you know, it seemed to be doing well on Netflix. I started watching it. I haven't finished it. I don't know if I will. I'm a little too read in on the reality TV world behind the scenes.
Yeah. So you see certain exchanges, and you're like, oh, okay, well that was either prodded in one way or the other, or
yeah, a little bit. But I honestly also don't watch a ton of reality TV. Like I watch The Bachelor now because, you know, part of a job, if you will, and it is good TV. I just I've never reality TV in general hasn't really like interested me to like watch it. But I recognize that if I do give this stuff an opportunity, it's entertaining. It's good content. It's because it is relatable. And then, like, you know, you see people be vulnerable. And that's when I say, like, you can either be interesting or be a good role model, that's not entirely true. Obviously, like, you can be a good role model. But you're right. Like, if all you are is just, like, you know, always saying positive and normal things, yeah, people will just tune you out.
yeah,
you know?
they want that soundbite, right? That could get you in trouble.
Yeah, that's
are you on Cameo?
Yeah.
Nice. Have you done a good chunk of those?
Are you?
Gotta be, dude. Come on.
I was on it. I'm thankful for it. Listen, first, when I first asked to go out, it was pretty new, and I said no for a while, and it felt like stupid for me. It was like, why would anyone want me to wish them a happy birthday and pay them? It felt a little narcissistic in a sense. Of course. You know. Then I was like, fine, I'll go on it, and then I did it, and then people's responses were pretty positive, but I bounced in and out, you know. But yeah, people seem to like it. I don't know. I mean, it's one of
those. Have you got any weird requests aside from birthdays? You know, like
nothing too
say grace
crazy
over our dinner, you know, or
I haven't gotten that. A couple like shirt off requests, or
oh shit,
you know,
how much is that? Asking for a friend.
No, I just don't do it.
Oh, dude, you are fucking. I'll be honest. That is a missed opportunity. You could charge, dude. Do you know what girls? For sure. Dude, if there are dudes out there that will pay for feet videos, there is an audience for girls.
That's the thing. It's just like when it comes to Cameo, like I actually don't like, listen, everyone sells out a little bit. I've been on the show a few times. I get it, but I don't
I hear you.
I think it's neat that people want me to wish me a happy birthday, but like especially if I'm raising my rate for it. It's like, I'll do this for $20. I'll do this for $40.
Yeah.
And listen, I have a price for anything. You know,
I mean,
like,
it would be great if it said like $80 one nip, $160 for the pair.
Yeah. I don't, you know, I'm lucky enough that I don't need the money that much, where it's just like, you know, and I'm not saying I'm doing anything, but like I've also tried to, you know, especially with the coronavirus, like I'll buy people, like I've done some stuff where I've called out some healthcare workers and buy them like $100 worth of Amazon supplies. And that's the fun thing about Cameo. It's fun to do that way, right? Like you kind of justify. It's just like, well, I'll use this money for that. Like it's kind of a pass-through system.
Totally.
And if I like waste money on something that I know I shouldn't be spending money on, it's like, oh well, I have Cameo. Like it's just it's like fun. I treat it like that, where it's and at the end of the day, if someone's excited that I wish them a happy birthday.
My boy Brad, when you came over to my place, probably a couple of years ago now to do the podcast.
Yeah.
I remember Brad, my co-host at the time. He cashed in on Cameo during St. Patrick's Day, right before the pandemic really went into full swing.
Oh yeah.
And dressed up, he's got leprechaun, elf, and what's the third dwarf costume that he always says every dwarf has? I think it's leprechaun, elf, and
Santa's helper, and then
there's a third one. I don't know if it's fucking Oompa Loompa. There's whatever it is, Chucky maybe, and he's got all those in the closet. And so he dressed up as a leprechaun and said an authentic leprechaun will do a St. Patty's, a special one, dude. I think he did 30 or 40 that day.
What did he charge?
I think he pretty reasonable. I think it was maybe $50-$60 a pop.
Okay. Because you're a comedian, when people ask you, are they like? I
get a lot of birthday messages.
It's just like wish him a happy birthday.
Dude, I go in
like happy birthday, and I do like a whole minute. But is there an expectation of you to like?
For sure. Yep.
Do like
funny.
a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a bit, but I mean, it's like I pride myself on being able to be quick and just on the spot, fill the time, and improvise. So I'll get it. If they're specific, that'll let me know though. If it just says like wish them happy birthday, I haven't done any that's shorter than a minute, so I at least give them that because they're paying for some sort of personal touch. They want to feel they're paying to get something like they feel like that you did this just for them. So I'll always improvise a birthday song at the end, which will always end up being at least a minute.
You sing?
Oh yeah, dude.
Good for you.
Like, okay, let's say Nick paid for a birthday song, right? I'd be like, yeah, yeah. Oh, what up? It's a great, great, great day, 'cause Nick is celebrating a birthday. We're gonna get some cake. We're gonna grab the rake. What's up?
I'm just gonna refer you to all the people who come in.
Yeah, let me just finish. Oh, grab the weed. Oh, 'cause that's what we need. Nick is turning 26. Psych, 48. Psych, 29. Nobody knows how old he is. Father time is coming soon. It's Nick's birthday. $80 for one nipple. $200 for the pair. $300 and he'll play truth or dare over Zoom with your mom.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
that's that's worth it. That's worth at least $20.
Yours are better than mine. I mean, I try to give them I try to come with the heart and maybe a little bit of humor, but I have not sung.
Well, dude, I'm saying, man, it's a real easy. You pluck it into the equation, but there's people like, I mean, I'm approaching 100K followers on Instagram, and so I would love to do a cool video for that, but I'm trying to sift through Cameo to see who I could maybe pay a little cash to give me a celebratory shout out. And I saw Montel Jordan was on there. That might be cool. And
I love that idea. I love that, like the Cameo person on Cameo using Cameo.
Yes.
You pay Montel Jordan to like.
Oh, guess
like
what?
That.
How much do you think Montel Jordan cost, by the way, for a birthday shout out?
$500.
$100. Guess what, dude? And I'm gonna ask him. I'll be like, dude, I'm gonna ask for like $150 if he'll sing "This Is How We Do It" and then hold up like a maybe my headshot with a thing that says 100K.
Well, I mean, what are the chances that 2/3 of his requests don't require like "This Is How You Do It" requests? Because like 2/3 of half of my requests are ask her to accept this rose,
Oh,
for me.
My God.
Right?
That's so funny.
Just, wish Maddie a happy birthday. And just at the end, just if you could just be like, Maddie, will you accept this rose? That would be great. And it's just like, fuck. I mean, I guess that's your birthday message. Like, and who am I to say no? And sometimes I'll be like, happy birthday, man. It's what a great year, man. Like, this
Yeah,
is going to be
come on.
awesome. And happy birthday. I love you. I'm thinking about you. And like, will you accept this rose? All right, happy birthday. Like I fucking hate doing it. It's painful, but yeah, Montel Jordan's definitely getting asked that.
I think so, and he's probably playing along. I mean, you kind of have to at that point. But he had a good rating. So, is there someone that you've been talking to more or less during this time that you didn't before? Because that's another thing that's happening for a lot of people. They're going, oh, I'm actually getting on the phone more and like reconnecting, and maybe a friend that I see once every 2 months.
I'll tell you what. I mean, even with potential suitors, it's a good time to connect.
Are you a phone talker in general?
No, but I will FaceTime. I have no use for the phone anymore.
Damn, dude.
Like, business call, fine, but like, I used to talking to a girl on the phone when we can FaceTime. I want to know like your nonverbal cues.
Wow. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's very, I guess, old school of you, but that's also like the way it should be done. Like, if you can't pick up, that's why, like, there's some comedy clubs that have tried to do like virtual stand-up shows, like where you're on stage. Did one for the Laugh Factory. It was fine, but you can't see. You have no audience. And so that's why, Zoom stand-up shows are at least a little bit more of the taste of the action, because you can actually see faces. And I feel that same way with the phone. If you can't see, when you say something, like, see anything of how it's being received, then how are you actually connecting?
And what I mean by, like, and I'm like, listen, if the phone's fine, if there's a reason you can't text and you need to like have a quick conversation and things are easily communicated. I'm talking about like, if this is like the get to know you, like, you talk on the phone till like whatever time of the night, and this is about like his having a conversation.
Right.
There is no reason not to like move that to FaceTime. There's like, what's the point of talking to someone you can't see when you're really trying to get to know them, and so much about dating and first dates are all about like people's responses, their body languages. Like right now, I'm looking at you and I feel like you might want to have sex with me. I feel like you feel like you're really,
was that transparent?
Just like looking at me and licking your lips, and it's just like, I know what I'm saying.
I mean, that is one of my like, I don't know if you call it like a nervous tick or like a thing. I do it a lot. My lips get chapped a lot. I've also been told I have black eye lips. I don't know if that's, you don't have to comment. That's neither here nor there. Do you think, what are your feelings on getting a FaceTime when you aren't expecting it? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people will go right to the FaceTime. Do you pick it up,
I'm
or
fine.
do you?
Listen, I can always not answer if I don't feel like it, but yeah, I understand that, maybe women feel like, that's totally fine if they do. If they don't feel like they look their best, just don't answer. In general, I don't know why people feel like it's more intrusive to like FaceTime than call. Just don't answer. Also, you can pick up the phone and not show your face. I've had that happen. Girl answers the phone, I FaceTime her. It's sitting on the table, so it's just looking at the ceiling while she's like brushing her teeth. I can't see her.
Yeah.
That's possible. I don't feel like it's I don't know. Listen, here's what I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Not that anyone calls on anyone and asks them on a date anymore,
Sure.
because like we've lost that. But if you were to call someone, I wouldn't call someone for the first time on a FaceTime.
Yeah, that's
unless it was like, hey, you're texting, do you want to FaceTime? Fine. But I wouldn't just out of nowhere FaceTime someone before I called them without them expecting it. I might be a serial killer if I did that.
You definitely would be. Yo, I'd love if we close this out by taking a few, since your Nick Advice podcast. What's it called again? Advice with
Ask Nick.
Ask Nick.
Yeah.
Great
Ask
title.
Nick.
How'd you come up with that?
I actually, my producer.
You produced it. Wow, dude. All right. Well, I'd love to take a few questions that I had sent to me. Yeah, from people wanting some Ask Nick. All right, cool. All right, this one is from Adam French from Tacoma, Washington. Walked in on my folks doing it for the first time ever in my life. They are, obviously in their 60s. Didn't know they were still doing it. Haven't told them. Should I tell them?
Have you ever walked into your parents having sex?
I haven't, but I've heard it.
Yeah, I've never even, and I have 10 siblings. I've never been I've been fortunate.
Wow. Wait, where do you
How
fall
old's
in
this
the
guy?
sibling line?
I'm number 2. So there was a lot of babies after me.
Wow.
I really never did.
Maybe you're all vacation babies.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have enough money to take vacation. I don't know how they did
Was the
it.
house big?
I don't,
Yeah, dude. Maybe just
it
in the
was big
shower.
enough. My
Who knows?
parents' room is my parents' room is in the downstairs, and we were all upstairs.
Oh man.
So maybe that's part of the reason. How old is this guy?
37.
No, you don't fucking tell him. What's the upside? Like, what
Yeah.
did you tell your parents?
No. I
Look
just
at this.
acted like
If you have that type of relationship with your parents, you just gotta you're like, yeah, you like to like give them shit, fine. But like, there's no upside. You don't need to
How do you
talk,
bring
like,
that
your
up
parents.
either?
Yeah. Well, what are you trying to accomplish either? It's
It's
like,
good.
hey, just this affected me. Like tell your therapist. Like, what are your parents supposed to do? Information.
Yeah.
I would say no.
Do you think that that can be scar? Like, I'm sure. What would you say to someone? Let's say that he said like it has scarred him, and he now can't be around them. What would you say?
I think he's being a bitch.
Grow up. It's a part of life,
it's
right?
kind of like
That's how
growing
you
up.
were
Like
made.
everyone poops, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like no one wants to hear that. I certainly would make it awkward and weird if you're telling me that like emotionally scarred you and damaged you, and now you have some sort of PTSD from it. I would say that you've had a charmed life.
Yeah.
But no one likes that. But I think you can recognize it. Maybe you take a moment. You don't hang out with mom and dad for a couple of weeks. I get that.
Yeah.
But
all
I
right,
don't
good.
know if I would buy them trying to sell me on they're emotionally scarred from it.
I love it. All right. Tony Gorney, 26, Glendale, California. My ex and I broke up. He took our dog, and then I found my vibrator chewed up. I think he had our dog chew it up to get back at me after he took the dog. Why couldn't he have just taken the dog?
This is from her.
Yeah.
Her name's Tony?
Yeah, Tony Gorney.
Nice. Is this a serious question?
Yeah.
She thinks he did it on purpose?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's fucking get a new one.
What if she can't
Like,
afford
how
it? What
much
if
is-
that was like a special one? Also, I think the point of like having that she thinks that, he took the dog and then adding insult to injury and had the dog like take bites out of it.
Here's what I think. I think she's probably all heard about this breakup. She wants to hate him. And you know what? Sometimes hating someone is a good step in getting over someone. In fact, you know what? It's better than like making excuses for shitty behavior. So just, assume the worst. Assume he did that, really hate him, and like then think to yourself, who would do that? Only psychos. And I'm glad I'm not dating a psycho.
That's actually sound advice.
Yeah.
By the way,
because I don't know.
What is a true giveaway for a psycho? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like early on, everyone is way more
A lack of empathy.
sure.
Yeah.
So like if you hear like an ambulance drive by, right? You guys are in the car, and I think a good sign is if she's like, "Oh, I hope they're okay," right? But if they're like, "Great, fucking somebody died. Great, we're overpopulated as it is."
Or like even worse would be like you're late for nothing but in a rush, and you're at a stoplight and you're super fucking pissed that an ambulance like slowed your commute, and you're fully aware that the person inside the ambulance like is like on life support and needs to get to the hospital, and you don't give a fuck because like you're late for nothing. Psycho.
Dude, that right there, I mean, that's how you end it.
Or slashing your kid's tires for no fucking reason. That's up there.
Still salty. Yeah, dude.
They told me the story and I was just blown away. Could you imagine your dad slashing yours?
No, I mean, no. I can't even imagine him
And
holding a knife.
then pretending he didn't do it, but like wanting you to know that he did that, like from an intimidation thing.
Yeah, that's. I mean, look, I would almost welcome that at this point because that would show that he was being active and not just sitting on the couch watching Naked and Afraid. But he's seen every episode like twice. Well, dude, that's great advice. You're good at this, dude. I see why the podcast is so successful. I can't wait to do it. Right, we're gonna do it in whenever you give me the green light.
Yeah, I think we're gonna record not next Monday, but let's do it we're gonna record next week.
Yeah, let me check my schedule, dude. Let me see what I got going
You
on
home?
Mondays. I think so. That's the other thing too. Is nobody. I mean, it's like the amount of you can't really complain or like we were saying earlier, like the excuse train is kind of slowed its roll.
It has, but there is the
or you just
ultimate
get more
excuse.
creative, or you just start being
or
like
you
this. No,
or you're just like, hey man, I'm gonna be honest, like just this isolation's getting to me. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I need a mental break from my mental break. I don't.
Yeah.
What do you say to that? It's just like, I got a lot of anxiety today. What can I say? I've been locked in a box. And you're kind of like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's like one of those weird, or saying like a relative is sick, or there's certain things that you just can't argue with, right? Or like diarrhea is always like a good one that nobody wants to fuck with, right? In fact, dude, I haven't stopped, and I don't know if I'm going to. People are like, I don't want any part of this. I don't even want to be hearing this right now. So,
and well, especially with the diarrhea, because like it's men will do it, and women I think men are we're still accepting the reality that women poop. I guess as we get older, some more than others, but like if a girl's gonna just be like, fuck it, I had the shits, you're just like, you know what? I don't care if you actually did, but just you saying it, you deserve a day off. Like just putting it out there,
See,
and letting me imagine it, like you just,
dude,
good for you.
Now, if a girl said that, is that when you'd be like, I'd like you to accept this rose?
Yeah. Now I know you're
and
being real.
By the way, don't touch it. You will wash your hands first, but then take it.
Yeah, wash your hands.
Well, dude, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man, that's always fun.
Yeah, always fun, dude. And we got the Viall Files, Ask Nick, and what's the third one?
It's all just on the look up
great.
Viall Files, and there's just
great.
find something
all the
you
Nick
like
content
listening to.
you want. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you're killing it. Keep crushing it. I'll talk to you soon. And
all right, buddy.
Stay safe, player.
You too.
All right, Nicky. See you, bud.
Bye-bye.